How do I start this thing?
Have you plugged the bloody USB in?
Yeah, it's in.
Nah, man, that's the wrong port. Oh, wait, it's flashing now.
Is it it's recording.
Well, let's start this thing, fool.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amelia.
Hi, I'm Sam. Welcome to Ask the Duo podcast, a podcast where we get deep into those late-night, unfiltered conversations.
We'll be discussing all things lifestyle, relationship, mindset, and more.
All right, let's get to it. Hello, welcome back.
Hello. We have Jazz here, and we were talking about her past relationship. We are going to talk about Asian myths and superstitions because she comes from an Indian background. I come from Chinese background, and Sam here has a mixture of Chinese, Thai and Viet. So what's a better way to have a conversation around superstitions than, with Jazz.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, so we will go through some of our cultural superstitions or myths that we've heard from growing up or our parents or just what we've heard around in the community and see if they are similar, different, or share some stories.
I can go first. The number one thing is it's a Thai superstition, but basically you don't play hide and seek after sunset.
Wow.
Like ghosts just like steal you away or something.
From a Thai perspective, if you play hide and seek during nighttime, they say that nighttime generally, that's when spirits or supernatural activity sort of happen. Yeah. That's when their energy is the strongest. So when you're playing hide and seek and that sort of shit, you're basically enticing the spirit or that ghost to play with you or invite them to play with you.
No way.
And because generally kids play hide and seek, kids are generally more vulnerable to...
And like somehow kids always manage to see ghosts easier too.
Yeah.
They can generally because they got that third eye or they just can see certain things that adults can't. So
no kids are playing hide and seek.
So have you ever tried to do it? Did you break the rules?
I used to play hide and seek when I was a kid at night.
With who?
With a ghost.
Yeah.
Well, with my family friends, we used to play.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything, but apparently you're not supposed to.
Interesting. Do you have anything similar
spooky.
to that?
Yeah, well, not really similar with that one, but I mean, on the topic of ghosts and spirits, this is one that my parents told me, and they're born in Fiji, so it's probably more of like a Fiji Indian superstition, is that if you notice someone's feet are backwards, feet are backwards, chances are that person is a ghost and not human at all.
Oh my God.
And you should keep walking and you should never look back. Because if you look back, that spirit might latch onto you.
Oh my God.
It knows that they know that you can see them.
You've acknowledged them.
That's right. And
but like, how can you resist not looking back? Like, if you just saw it in the your peripherals and you're like, wait, did I just see that right? Then you look back. Oh my God.
You're done for, Amelia. Don't do it.
I'm just not going to look at anyone's feet at all.
Shit.
No feet. Yeah, well, we'll continue on with the ghost thing. I think this one, I feel it's quite common between all of us, is that story between having mirrors in your room. So for the Chinese one, it shouldn't face your feet, or like your feet shouldn't face a mirror or the door, because that again is like a portal for ghosts to come in, or it also creates insomnia and just like something about inviting souls. So don't have your feet facing the mirror or your bed, I think, next to the mirror, and also don't have it facing the door.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's very similar to the Viet and Thai culture. You don't have a mirror sort of opposite to where you're sleeping.
Yeah.
So if you're sleeping, you can see yourself. They say that the mirror acts as a portal for that alternative realm, is what they say. And when you're sleeping, that's when you're in your vulnerable state. So spirits of that like can manipulate and take over your body.
Interesting.
Didn't you say you used to have a story about because the head of your bed or something was
Yeah.
facing
So
the
I
door?
actually experienced something when I was a kid. My bed was directly facing the door, so my feet, and I'm like lying directly facing it. So when I was a kid, I used to have a lot of nightmares, and they're not normal nightmares. They're just they're like scary nightmares where I'd always wake up at a certain time every day crying. And
Do you remember what the dream
no,
was?
fuck no. I was too
Erasing
little.
that from my memory.
I was too young. I was probably like 5, 6.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where it was repetitive that the whole family household couldn't sleep because obviously I was crying. So a way to battle that is either you move the bed completely, but because the house we were living in is small, so we couldn't move it. So my dad got a really massive butcher's knife and put it between my bed frame and the bed mattress.
Yeah.
And that completely stopped my dreams.
No way.
Yeah. So that was the Viet Chinese way of putting like a weapon to stop bad spirits from.
That's unbelievable.
But that
yeah.
theory has been proven that you shouldn't put your feet
Yeah.
facing the door.
And then a second story is I finally got my own room.
Yeah.
Basically, we converted a sunroom is what they used to call it back in the
What's a
90s. Sunroom is just like a room where it faces the sun direction.
Yeah.
And
So my office right now, burning in hell.
and you just chill there, right? It's
Yeah.
a sitting area. But we converted one of those rooms into my room, and directly where the door entrance is, I had my bed kind of like sideways.
Head was at the door.
No, it was like my body is like hitting the entrance, so it's like a T intersection.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when I changed to that room and I had my bed set up like a T intersection, I had nightmares as well. Same thing every fucking day at a certain time.
Yeah.
And there was this one moment where I woke up and I sleepwalked. I sleepwalked and I had all the lights on, and I was like, I was so clueless. I was like, what the I woke up everyone. I was like, what? Why is the lights on? Like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what are you doing? You turn everything on and shit like that. And I was like, dude, I couldn't recall that.
Yeah.
Like, everything happened, I don't know how. But it was like I caught myself in the act because I was walking.
Yeah.
And I woke up somehow.
Like you woke up while you were standing. Like
Yeah.
You were
I woke up, I was standing. I was like, what the hell? And I was like full like I was as if I was like on drugs or something.
What
like,
That's
Unbelievable.
really bad.
Yeah. So then I moved my bed
Yeah.
away from the door and it stopped.
If it's the feet like
Yeah.
pointing towards the entrance of the door,
Yeah.
that's
In
the
Chinese
belief.
like culture, generally you wouldn't put your bed anywhere near the door. Like your head or your feet shouldn't face the door or be at the door. So it should have a clear. Nothing should be blocking it. Like, so the doorway and you walking in shouldn't have your bed anywhere near that.
Oh, it's funny you say that because my bed was like that.
Yeah.
Like my feet would be facing the door, and I was around 9 years old, and I slept in that bed for like 2 years in that room, and sleepwalking was a big one.
Wow.
I kept waking up in the middle of the night, and I'd have to get my parents to like get me back to sleep. And the third one that happened was like in the middle of the night, I'd hear people talking or like laughing, and I'm like, oh, someone's got the TV on. I'm so annoyed. And then I'm like half asleep and I walk into the living room like, can you switch off the TV? And there's nobody there. Lights are switched off and like the sounds had stopped.
Okay,
and I'm
this
like,
theory is definitely proven.
I know. And I'm like, am I just dreaming this? This is so weird. And I just go back to sleep. And that happened very often for like till I like moved rooms.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, exactly that too. So that's kind of goosebumpy to know that you
I
went
have
through a
chills
similar
right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, changing it to something that's not ghost, it's not a myth, but it's this thing that people say in China that you don't do. Like, men can't wear green hats because it's something that they used to do back in the days. If men were to cheat on their wife, I think it's like either the whole family or that guy has to wear a green hat so that everyone knows that he cheated on the family, or he's a cheater, or he has more than one wife. So the saying is, like, if someone cheated, now the phrase is, this guy is wearing a green hat. So men shouldn't wear green hats.
Wow, I'd never heard of that.
Yeah, that's just, it's a phrase rather than a myth or superstition, but that's something that, people in China believe.
Green hats.
Crazy. Yeah. Well, if I go to China, I'm just going to be looking out for anyone who wears
who's wearing avoiding this guy.
Shit, dude. This one I thought it was a funny one, but if a person has a mole under their lower lip, they are considered to be lousy and cannot be trusted with secrets.
Really?
So they're dirty fuckers.
I think Asians have a thing with like moles, because I've heard of something similar about the eye. Like, if you have a mole around your eye or something, you're really seedy. You like to look at like.
I have a mole, like, yeah, sort of.
Jazz, what are you looking at?
No, that doesn't look like a mole.
Like a mole, like big
like a
one.
mole, like a big one.
Yeah, like means
Well,
like you're
that's
seedy and. Yes. Don't know what you're looking at night.
Explains a lot.
Do you have anything like?
I have one that's a little bit different. So Indians like to believe that if you put eyeliner on babies, and if you put like eyeliner in the back of your neck, that wards away the evil eye.
What?
Holy shit.
Yeah, so especially in babies, if somebody compliments your baby and they don't have eyeliner, they're like, oh no, something's bad's going to happen. It's going to attract the evil eye.
Oh my
so
God.
they put eyeliner on their baby. And
Do they actually? Like, have you seen them do that?
yeah, I've seen it. It's very common. I used to have like a black dot in the middle of like my
Is
eyebrows.
that why Indians have the red dot? Is that something different?
The red dot usually means like the woman is married, like it's like a sign of like their marital status.
Okay, yeah.
But the black dot means it's like I'm warding away the evil eye, and it's usually with babies. So like if you look at all my baby photos, my like brothers, it's like a big black dot, and even some of them like are dressed up in dresses. If they're boys, they're dressed up in dresses to ward away the evil eye.
That's really interesting. So they just get an eyeliner like drawn in the back.
In the back. Yeah. So there was like one time I was really, really sick, and it was like at the time I was married, and my ex's family's like, oh, I reckon it's the evil eye. Put like a black dot or eyeliner in the back of your neck, and that will stop any evil eye from happening, because I reckon someone's evil eyed you. And I'm like, this is bizarre. Okay, I'll do it though.
Let's just try anything right now.
Holy crap.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. I've got a similar one to the baby thing though. This is like a Thai side of things. So they're saying that with babies, from I guess a Western point of view, we always say, oh, the baby's really cute, or they're adorable, and that sort of stuff. From a Thai culture, you don't call babies cute or adorable.
What?
Because when you call the kids or the babies that, apparently it attracts the attention of ghosts and spirits.
Like
Really?
they would come and see why the baby's cute or something like
Yeah,
that.
they're attracted to, because like I was saying, infants are vulnerable in terms of their spirit and that sort of stuff, because they're just fresh, they're new, you know what I mean? So apparently disembodied heads and ghosts would attach themselves to the babies if you call them like cute and adorable.
What do you call them then?
So that's
Ugly
why
piece of shit.
that's why people would basically refer to the newborns as like ugly. And that's to deter them. Yeah, that's to deter like the spirit realm to leave them alone.
Only in Thai?
This is, from my understanding, it's a Thai thing.
Interesting.
And babies are so vulnerable already, and then you're like, you ugly boy.
You're an ugly boy.
You dirty, dirty little thing. Oh my God, that's funny. What other ones do we have? This one I actually found out and read up about when we were planning like the wedding thing. Apparently in Chinese culture, if you're a bridesmaid more than 3 times, you're never gonna get married.
No.
Like,
Oh shit!
yeah, it's
I
bad
feel
luck
so
to you. Yeah, I don't know how that came about, but apparently, yeah, if you get asked to be a bridesmaid 3 times,
Yeah.
that's bad luck to you after, and you're either not gonna find relationship, or it's not gonna be successful, or you can't get married. That was just a really interesting one that I found.
Yeah.
That's strange, but interesting at the same
I
time.
don't know how they
Yes.
would calculate that.
Yeah, like who the hell sits there? Oh, you've done it 3 times.
times,
Yeah,
yeah.
Excuse me, can I ask you how many times
yeah. That's
are you in a relationship now?
Yeah, I don't actually know how they made
Yeah,
that, like,
I don't know.
came up
It's
with
like
that.
a thing that they have. It must be
Yeah.
from like the traditional, like
The days.
Chinese,
Yeah.
something that they had.
that's crazy, man.
Mm.
This one's a little bit different. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys may have heard this specific festival. It's called Songkran, which is a water festival. It's a water festival that Thai people generally have at this particular time frame. I think it normally goes for
Is
about a
that
week.
the Thai New Year's that they
Yeah, it's
celebrate, or
like
is that something-
basically like a New Year sort of thing, or a preparation to a new year. But it's a famous festival where water symbolizes purity. So in Thailand, they have a week or so where they wet each other with like fragrant sort of water. So you see people with water guns shooting each other. You see people with like buckets of water like throwing at each
That's
other.
pretty
Saw them,
cool.
like
Oh.
throwing water bombs.
Yeah, they throw water bombs. They like just wet each other with this type of fragrant water. But
So
this,
it has to have that fragrance.
yeah, it's like a fresh purity sort of feeling. So you're like you're blessing for the new year.
Yeah.
So basically, when you're washing yourself, or you wet yourself, or you wet someone else, it's like you're blessing them to a fresh new year.
That's so funny because in the Chinese, I think it's mainly the Chinese tradition. Like anything that's like prosperous, like a new Chinese New Year. I can't remember the other days, but mainly Chinese New Year, you can't wash your hair because if you wash your hair, you're washing all the New Year blessing and all the good fortune. You're washing it off. So that's actually
It's kind of like the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like blessing with water, and we can't wash our
But
hair.
that's why you'd think you'd wash your hair before the new
Yeah.
year.
New Year, yeah.
You don't want your hair all stanky and
Yeah.
smelly. So
Well, I still do it just because I'm like used to it, but like
Yeah.
whether or not I believe it, I don't know. Like, yeah, you gotta wash your hair.
Yeah.
Like
Hygiene.
the Chinese New Year goes on for like 15 days, and the very traditional way is like you don't wash your hair during that period, but you can't really not wash
Wash
your
your
hair
hair,
for
yeah.
15 days.
15 days.
Yeah.
It's a long
That's a
time.
long time.
Yeah.
Mine like starts getting oily after the third day.
Me
I'm
too.
like, oh,
Even second day, it
Yeah.
gets oily.
yeah. So just imagine 15 days, dude. It'd be-
Oh. And in this weather,
Yeah.
with the humidity.
Yeah.
Humid. Imagine
Be so
living in
bad.
like Bali or something and you can't wash your
Oh, stank right there.
Like even like half an hour walking out, I'd be like sweaty.
This is one my dad told me. Not, I wouldn't say it's Indian culture, but we were about to leave home to go shopping or grocery shopping, and it was exactly 12 p.m. He's like, "No, we can't go."
What?
And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "We just can't go. It's just a superstition that if we leave at 12 p.m., something bad will happen." And I'm like, "Dad, this sounds insane.
Like only 12 o'clock, like on
yeah,
the dot?
on the dot. You do not leave. You have to wait like 5 minutes." And I'm like, "Dad, I'm not, like, come on. This is a joke, right?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "Oh, I knew a friend of a friend left at 12 p.m. precisely. He didn't, listen, and he broke the rules, and he left, and he got into a car accident and died."
Wow.
And
Shit.
he's like, "I'm not taking chances for us."
Wow.
And so we had to wait for 5 minutes.
Holy
Well, I
moly.
guess 5 minutes isn't too long, but
I was like,
that's-
I'm on a roll here. I need to get stuff done. Come on, man.
Time is money.
Shit.
Wow, that's interesting. I've never heard of that. Another one that I have, this is more like something that's like on the health side. So if you don't cover your neck or your stomach Or like your feet, you get a cold. So like when I was young and I'd go to bed, my dad would always tell me to like cover the blanket like up to my head or something. Like if like a shoulder or like a neck is kind of revealing, it's like you're gonna catch a cold. And like if you're wearing shirts, like crop tops like was not a thing for them because you're gonna get sick or something like that. So that was a thing, like you just have to cover it, which I can kind of see why. Like sometimes if you're sweating and then you went out and the wind's like blowing on your stomach, you start to sneeze. So I can kind of see why. But yeah, in the Chinese like health thing is like, cover your neck, cover your like body. That's why you see like a lot of Asians wear like the turtlenecks or like jackets.
Yeah,
like,
I've noticed that.
Yeah, that's
Even
true.
in Vietnam, I noticed that. My mom actually has something very similar to that. Is like cover up, don't go out in the rain because you're going to get really sick. Cover your head if it's really cold. So very similar to that.
Yeah, do they have the thing where you have to dry your hair after you wash your hair?
Yes.
'Cause if it's like left wet, you're going to get sick as well.
Oh,
yeah.
she's a big believer of that. And I'm like, what's going to happen? What's the worst? She's like, you're going to get sick. You're going to get pneumonia.
Yeah, they tell me that when you get older, you're going to get headaches.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but
explains a lot.
yeah.
Interesting. I didn't even know that, eh? But that makes sense though when you think about it, because just outside of culture stuff,
Yeah.
if your head is wet, they say
'Cause
that
it
your
makes it
head
cold.
no, they say that your head dissipates most of your body heat, and obviously our body needs to operate within a certain temperature. So because your head is exposed and it's wet, you're more inclined to basically get sick because
the wind.
the wind and stuff like that. Yeah, and the same thing with like for me, as long as I have my back covered, I'm good. But if I have my back like exposed, I can get sick.
Yeah.
That's actually true, because every time after we come back from Muay, we're like sweaty, and there's been so many times he would get sick from because if he doesn't change his shirt and his shirt's drenched, he would actually catch a cold. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that people can actually get
Good
sick.
to know.
Yeah, and that's like with me specifically, I know my body's like that.
Yeah.
So, and I also find that like gymming, if I don't gym and train my back, I feel like my back isn't protected in the fact that, it's strange, but in the fact of like warmth, like having like
the blood flow.
the blood flow, and again keeping that warm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Any other ones that you want to add?
All right. Well, when you go to a funeral, my mom always told me that when you come back, take a shower straight away.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, the spirit attaches to you, or can attach to you, or something from a cemetery can just latch onto you.
Yeah.
I don't know, is that similar to something?
I've heard something when you go to a funeral. Obviously, it's a sad thing, right? It's a bad thing. So, like you said, potentially something's attached to you, but it's also the negative energy that you're obviously going into, like, because obviously something tragic has happened. So it's basically following you home, or you're taking a bit of that home. So they say when you get home, get out of your clothes, wash your clothes. Shower, and basically you're getting rid of that negative energy.
Yeah.
I don't even know if these are actually Chinese or just Asian in general. From what I heard is you actually don't go home after a funeral, because you're in that like cemetery or paying respects to other people. The spirits will come with you, like you said. So they said don't go home straight away. They tell you to go to somewhere where it's very crowded, so like a shopping center, and you'll come drop them off, like drop the kids off.
You're like I'm getting like a pearl tea, a bubble tea, and it's like they're with you.
It's my drink, don't drink my drink.
Two, please.
So they just say generally don't go home straight after, like just go somewhere where there's more people and it helps keep them away, and don't take them home with you.
Yeah, it makes sense. But like, imagine going to a funeral, you're crying, you're upset, somebody's passed away, and then you're like going to a shopping center. Straight up.
Let's splurge. It's very interesting how like it kind of varies. Like similar stories or similar concepts, but they vary between the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I briefly mentioned this off off the mic. So this is a Chinese, Islam, and Aboriginal
Yeah.
culture. So supposedly you should never whistle at night.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been told that when I was
Yeah, me too.
You've been told that?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
so apparently,
strange.
obviously, when you whistle at night, it's basically attracting spirits to follow you home.
maybe it's the
like a
frequency.
calling.
Maybe it's the frequency of the whistle. 'Cause
Could
it's
be.
Yeah.
But
It's like calling.
yeah, apparently you should never do that at night.
I'm so glad I can't whistle because
Yeah.
I probably would have gone rogue as a
Really?
kid and whistled. And I'm like, what you going to do, Mom? What's going to happen?
Listen to me. Yeah, I've heard of that when I was young. Actually, one other last ghost superstition. So in the Chinese culture, there's a specific month where it's technically called the ghost month, where there's high spirits out in the world. Like, I think it's like the portal or something that opens, and either it's because it's to let the spirits that are still roaming to go home or like find their next life thing. There's a lot of ghosts out, and during that month, people don't walk along the walls or anything that has like a wall or barrier, because that's where all the ghosts are walking, because they don't know where they're going, so they use the wall to gauge where they're going.
Oh, wow.
So people stay away from the edges and things like that. So that's what I've heard.
And I am staying
What
away
month
from
is that?
Yeah, what month is that?
It goes by the old lunar calendar, but it usually ends up between like
October?
mid-August to September-ish.
Oh, so
Only
you
reason
passed
why I
it,
know
yeah.
is because it's always around river fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, September. So it's August in the, I think it's the lunar calendar, but it ends up being around mid-August to September time.
Yeah, so stay away from crowded places because of river fire.
Yeah.
And now, in addition to that,
Edges. Just
That's
stay-
that's a Viet Chinese thing as well.
is it?
Yeah, because my dad used to have the Chinese calendar. I think that's a lunar calendar, isn't it?
the ones that you get from the Chinese
Yeah,
grocery
yeah, yeah.
store.
And it has like on the actual calendar, it tells you the specific date.
Yeah.
And it changes year by year. But basically, when it comes to that, I guess, week, you're supposed to do the shrining.
Offerings. Yeah,
and the offerings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my dad used to do it when he was around. He used to basically set up, because he had a shrine at home, and he used to set up an offering. And basically he was saying, like, because that period is where spirits and, you know what I mean, entities are walking around and that sort of thing, you've got to offer them food to basically return back to their realm.
Yeah.
So they're saying that during that week, they're sort of walking around in the human realm, which they shouldn't be. So giving offerings of such foods and fake money and that sort of stuff is to tell them to go back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting.
Incense sticks is a big one that my mum loves and has around the houses, just to continue having positivity in the house, remove negativity, and even just like bad vibes and the possibility of spirits. Have incense sticks and just have them
To
lit around.
cleanse the space.
Yeah.
True.
Not sure if that's something similar in, you know, the Asian culture.
I don't know too much about incense stuff, but there's one where it's really rude if you stick your chopsticks into the
heard that.
rice, because that represents the incense sticks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the Asian ones that we burn,
Yeah.
and it's like the incense. Yeah, so never do that.
I've heard
in
of that
the
one
Asian
too,
culture.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that,
that's interesting.
that was actually one that I had on my list. Basically, the reason why you don't stab a chopsticks. Well, yeah, if you think about it, because
I've done that.
yeah, so apparently you don't do that, because normally in an offering you stab a chopstick into the actual bowl, or generally you place it on top, right, as an
A
offering.
chopstick or an incense?
Combination of the two. Well, actually, sorry, more so than incense, right?
Yeah.
But they're saying that because that only happens during offerings, if you're doing that with a chopstick, you're basically inviting spirits to come to you to eat that food, because that's normally what is generally happening.
Yeah.
Is you put an incense in the bowl of rice and you're giving that as an offering to that spirit realm. So they say don't do that, and I'm guilty. Sometimes I don't stab it, but I kind of like put it inside the bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disrespectful, both of you.
A bit scary, but
It's interesting how most of these superstitions around ghosts though. Like
I
in
know.
the,
Yeah.
very, very similar in how they have some sort of correlation.
Yeah.
But like across different cultures too. And that's what I was saying before, the whistling thing, that the whistling at night's pretty cool because it's like that's 3 totally different cultures who have
Yeah.
very similar theories behind the whistling.
Must have been proven too.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
No
Yeah.
whistling, no beds in front of the door.
Yeah. I'll add this last one, right? So this last one I thought was really interesting. So this is more of a Vietnamese Chinese thing, but they say that if a dog, like a stray dog, or even a random dog comes through your home, like walks through your home, they bring good luck.
Really?
Yeah. So if they come through the front door and they come in and have a geese and stuff like that and they're all chill, that's good. It one, brings good luck, and 2, it's the dog confirming that there's no negative energy inside the house. Because they say dogs have a third eye. They
They're
can
doing
see.
their
Yeah.
quality assurance on the house.
Yeah. So then if a dog comes in and is barking and making a ruckus, it's indicating that there's something here.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So funny you say that. We
Oh,
at my
shit.
parents' house, they there was this fat, chunky Labrador dog, but it had a collar, so I think it just was loose, ran away or something, but it was just walking around, came through the house, ate a bowl of our cat's food, and just walked around, was really chill, very chipper.
Help yourself.
And then like continue to eat the food that mum takes out for the birds. So she feeds the birds. He was eating all of that. He just continued to eat and eat whatever he could find. And he was just like really happy. And then the owner was just driving around trying to find his dog, and then finally we're like, is this your fat ass dog right here? And they're like, yeah, we've been looking for him everywhere. I'm like, please take him, he's eating everything. But he seemed to be really relaxed at
That's
like
cool.
my parents' house. Yeah.
That's good. That's what happened to my parents' home, because they built a home in Carindale.
Yeah.
I think it was like 1 or 2 days after we got the handover, we were moving in, and we had this random stray dog just walk through the front door. Exactly that, walk through all the rooms, just real chill, and basically walked out happy. And we're like, holy fuck. And I remember I was like saying to my dad, I was like, what the fuck? Should we get the dog out?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, just let him do his thing because it's good luck, and he'll pick up on bad stuff if there is anything that's bad. And we did. We just let him roam through, and he just did his thing and fucked off. It's cool. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's really
That's
cool.
cool.
And they say that cats is a bad thing.
Oh.
If cats walk through your house like a dog, they bring bad like negative energy.
Man, where's this discrimination
Yeah.
with the cats and the dogs?
Jazz is offended. She
I-
has 2 cats.
I know.
I don't know, mate, but it seems like cats, just from a spiritual point of view, I don't know, it seems to carry a negative
I've only
connotation.
heard
Yeah.
of black cats though.
That
not
do that,
general
yeah.
cats. Yeah, I've heard of black cats.
But like
Yeah.
Egyptians back in the days,
They
they
like
worship
cats.
cats. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Cool.
So it's strange, right? It's
Yeah.
it's different in how one time, right? As time flies, things change in different cultures. How everyone sees different animals and
Yeah.
different things so differently, or sometimes aligned. And I find the aligning of certain things really, really interesting.
yeah, like the whistle story.
Yeah.
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 Interesting things to think about. But yeah, thank you for sharing yours. Really interesting to know from the Indian culture, or like just what you grew up with as well.
Anytime.
And if anyone has their own superstitions or myths that they've heard, I would love to hear that as well and share
Yeah.
it through.
Let us know. Slide to DMs, guys. And once again, follow us, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much if you have reached to the end. We really appreciate you for tuning in. And if you like what you hear, please share it with your friends or family and subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you are listening to.
Make sure you share any topics you'd like us to cover or questions you might have to our Instagram.
Slide it into our DMs.
Bigger, bigger. You can also stay in the loop of all the behind the scenes and the release of our new episodes there too. Our Instagram is Ask the Duo Podcast. That's AskTheDuopodcast. Man, feels like I'm in a spelling bee competition right now. Alright, that's it for now, and we'll see you back here for our next episode. Bye!
See ya!